What's up guys, Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review, and today I have for you guys the real tech, the actual Elise tech. Everyone is talking about how broken this unit is, and you know, I've seen different variants played. We did the VOD review of Dasic playing the Nitro version earlier, but I think after playing around a little bit of this myself, talking to my TFT consultant, Demasian Raptor TFT, I have to say this is the best way to play the comp, and we're going to talk about, we're going to do a VOD review of it, but you can just see the results speak for themselves. Obviously, not a disgusting sample size, but I legit just hard forced this comp 4 games in a row, went first, third with it, and the crazy thing is, this game I hit Elise 3, but was one off Braum 3, I missed on that. This game, I rolled for Elise 3, Braum 3, missed on Elise and Braum 3, but got literally just them both 2-starred, hit third in this game as well. This was more of a fast 9 variation where I didn't actually play for reroll, easy first. This game I just hit Elise 3 with double econ, by the way, and I went third. So I mean, the comp is just gross. You don't have to hit Elise 3, Braum 3 to even top 4 is the crazy thing. The reason why this comp is so broken is because of how stable it is on just Elise 2, Braum 2. And you can see that actually in the statistics here. If you just throw into your filters here, Elise 3 item, Braum 3 item, that averages 3.79. Now, obviously, these stats are carried a bit. Like, I'm not going to say if every single game you never hit Elise 3, Braum 3 and you rolled a 0 and you're on 8 Elise Braums that the comp's broken. It's not, but you can just see the consistency of the comp here is that literally just put 3 items on both of them, and most of the time you're averaging better than a 4th. So let's hop into a VOD. I'm actually doing one of these games that I played recently because it was a fun game. It was a good showing of this comp, and I learned a lot about kind of how to play around this comp from listening to Demasian Raptor yap about it. So I'm going to hopefully impart some of that knowledge to you. And the first thing is, you can honestly play this comp from almost every spot. The power of it is that it is so stable on 7 and so stable on 8. And so you can play this from just, boom, like lost streak into, you know, a hard stabilized 3-5. You can also play this from just we have a decent enough opener with a Morgana. Honestly, if you hit Morgana 2, this is going to hard carry you to level 7 where you can actually play around Elise. This Morgana unit, just absolutely disgusting. Just any situation where you can put items onto her, I would recommend doing it. And you'll see we potentially do it this game. So first augment here, cloning facility, golden fleece, and not today. Now, interesting thing actually, if you guys haven't seen it, there is this not today variation of Vanguard Marksman that a lot of people have been playing. It's Vanguard Marksman, but you just take not today. The reasoning is attack speed good on Marksman's, and Edge of Night can actually scam you some fights. So little tech for you guys if you I've seen a lot of people doing this not today into Vanguard Marksman, very good. I'm going to take Cloning Facility here, and, you know, I was a little apprehensive about taking this. I know it's broken with Aurora, and we've talked about this before, but Demasian Raptor actually gave me an interesting tech, which is you can also, prior to getting the Aurora, put Elise onto the Cloning Facility. And honestly, if you guys haven't played around Elise very much, I think it's kind of helpful to just look at the unit itself and read out Elise's ability, because most people aren't that familiar with actually carrying Elise. So she's 50 mana, which means she's a pretty solid blue buff holder. Fire 4 lasers at the current target at 4 more, split between the nearest 2 enemies, each dealing magic damage, and reducing magic resist by 5 for the rest of combat. That is 5 flat, and that is the rest of combat. So Elise is a very interesting unit. You want her to cast multiple times to get that kind of MR shred that lasts for the entirety of combat. We obviously duplicate our Alistair here, and we can actually just level up for the Jhin here and play this board. It's very strong here. But you want to play for long fights, which is why we'll actually first item slam Gunblade here, which it seems a little crazy, but this item is so good on Elise because you do want to play for those very long combats. If you can just get multiple Elise casts off, you can end up in spots where you're getting them down to 0 armor and MR, and then Elise is just doing basically true damage, which is just absolutely disgusting. So you're very excited anytime you can build items that play for long fights. This is why you're playing for Braum, who is just an absolute mega tank, even at 2-star, even at 2-star, even not at 3-star. Braum 2 will tank a disgusting amount, and we'll see that later in the game. But the nice thing about duplicating Elise on this cloning facility is both of them are going to MR shred, and so you're going to much faster get to this point where the enemy team is at 0 armor MR, and the Elise is just doing true damage and killing everybody. So It's honestly so sick. I mean, just watch if you guys haven't got a chance to play her on this comp yet, specifically this version, because I know I did the Dasik VOD review, and he said he is not at all a fan of this Braum version. After playing this comp a few times, I cannot imagine why he would not be a fan of the Braum version, because it's disgustingly stable. I mean, we'll see. I'll show you guys this game, but it is so stable on just the Braum and the Elise and getting Syndicate in. And if you guys haven't seen the board before, I mean, I had it in Team Planner there at the start, but you can see it once we hit level 7 and level 8 is when we're really going to be playing around it. But for the early game, we're just going to be playing a solid win streak board with Morgana, the best AP early item carry in the game by far, by an insane amount. This is actually an interesting carousel here because I was really tempted to go for a Gargoyle Stoneplate here to try to win streak in this spot, and Demacian Raptor cautioned me against that and said you should take Rod in this spot, which I thought was interesting. The idea is that we've slammed one of our Rods already into this Hextech Gunblade, and so there is actually a pretty scary situation that can occur here where if we don't take Rod here, if we don't take potential like damage item for Archangels, for Deathcap, JG, whatever it ends up being, then we might end up in a situation where we actually just don't have damage on this unit because one of our Rods is already, if we don't get another Rod throughout the rest of the game, we could actually end up in a spot where at least just does 0 damage. So I think this Rod take is very smart. The only downside is it doesn't give us an item slam, which, hey, I mean, if we fight somebody really strong at 2-6, that might end up putting us into a bad spot. Also, I mean, this is kind of a hilarious shop here. We can still hold this and make gold here. Honestly, I mean, Morgana 3 is great. So I think if we just like hard natural the Morgana 3, we will play it. Also, Morgana 3 not stronger than the Rost in this spot. The Armor Namar from Divinicore and the extra AP from Divinicore from Ross is just, it's too much to pass up in a spot like this. I think you absolutely have to play the Rost on this board just because Armor Namar synergizes so well with the Bruisers, so well with the extra Bruiser that we have on this board because of Cloning Facility. So this looks great. And yeah, an easy 5 streak because we hit a Morgana 2 and put items on her. It's literally just that easy. And the other really cool thing about this comp is we just slammed a Gunblade from Rip. You can slam almost anything onto this Elise item and make her, or this Elise unit, almost any items on this Elise unit and make her work. I will say these scaling type items like the Hextech Gunblade, like the Archangels, I really love onto the Elise because you just play for really long fights and it's so free here, and we do get the Gargoyle and the Archangel Slam, and then we have Glove left open for something like a JG, something like a Guard Breaker. This Elise unit, you can build blue buff onto her and it's fantastic. Like it's a fantastic mana item onto her. You can also build no mana item at all because in this board we are ideally playing for 4 Dynamo, and 4 Dynamo gives you all the mana gen that you need, really. So we're going to continue to sit on this board here. You can see the power of just Morgana as an item carry. I do sell off the extra Morgs because I'm like, am I really going to like roll down here for Morg 3? I mean, there's no way. So yeah, don't need to worry about that. Second Augment here. I mean, Clockwork Accelerator, not amazing in this comp. You're already getting so much mana gen from Dynamo that the extra attack speed is pretty bad. Long Distance Palace tends to be a little bit awkward to itemize here. We do second Augment here get Memory Bank, and it's an interesting augment because Memory Bank, there's no Memory Bank plus. Memory Bank, it's literally the exact same augment as 2-1 and 3-2. So usually when that exists in TFT, that means this augment sucks and you should never take it. However, I do think this unit, and here we can actually pull back up this and then just go to items here and just type in Elise here, and let's literally just sort by delta in this spot here, and you can see literal best item in the entire game onto this Elise unit is Zanya's Paradox here. It is completely disgusting, and it makes perfect sense, right? We're talking about this Elise being a unit that wants to play for long fights, wants to, you know, make a fight last really long, throw Zanya's onto her. I mean, it's also fantastic onto Aurora, so like you can kind of go either way with it. So I think it's an easy take here. I think this augment is definitely like gone up in priority. Used to be like, are you that excited about taking it? But now that I think this comp has been more kind of like figured out and discovered, you have to take this here. And we can actually hilariously play an extra Morgana on this board, start farming some stuff, you know, some extra procs here. I will say, by the way, look at this scout here. This is kind of this is very important actually. We scout here and see this Thana player here. They are playing the Nitro Elise reroll. So they're also playing Elise reroll. This is our sign that we're not going to play the reroll variation, and you know, this is something that is important to consider when you play this comp. There's actually two versions of this comp with the exact same board. There's the reroll variation and there's the fast 9 variation. You can play either one depending on how contested you are. Is there a Twisted Fate player in your lobby who's stealing all the Broms and you're thinking, okay, I can't hit Brom 3? Is there another Elise reroll player in your lobby saying, okay, you know, it's gonna be hard for me to hit Elise if they're going for Elise? Okay, then boom, you just go fast 9. There's so much that you can cap out with on this board. You can hit Aurora, you can hit Zac and cap stuff out. You can play like Garen on your board and potentially spread extra dynamos around, which is really cool. Like you can spread like Bruiser around, like Bruiser onto Braum is really nice from Garen as well. So it's you can cap out actually really high on level 9, and just getting more frontline for this board, buying time for Elise is obviously disgusting. So you can play that, or if you're uncontested rerolling, then boom, you play Elise reroll version, you roll down, you find Elise 3, and boom, you're very happy. So it's just it's such a cool comp, and the fact that you can play both variations is so nice here. Item-wise here, we kind of really want a tank item at this point. I believe we end up taking, we take Chain here. The idea being this can be Steadfast Heart if we need to, because we're done on Elise items here. We're going to have these two, and we're going to have Zanya's, and we're going to be happy with Elise items here. We can level up here, and I do think leveling here makes a good amount of sense, but honestly, we're strong enough and we're rich enough here that I don't think we actually like feel the need to like roll down here. If you're on a loss streaks and you're like really kind of afraid, what you do here is you just level to level 7 and 3-5, and you roll down here for at least 2 Brom 2. And if you hit that, you will be stable until 5-1 at the earliest, is like the earliest that you're going to feel some pain with this board, I promise you. At least 2 Brom 2. You need to find ideally 1 Misfortune on level 8, which is an interesting part of this comp, is that it's 3-cost reroll, but you don't necessarily play it as kind of like, you know, straightforward like 3-cost reroll. You do play this as stabilize on level 7 and then push 8. Even if you're playing the reroll version, it's very important actually. Even if you're playing reroll version and you want to go for at least 3 Brom 3, you do actually push level 8 because you need to find Misfortune, and I mean you need to just get your entire board in on level 8. Just making you know, you're giving yourself enough frontline to actually play the game is quite important. It also gives you the chance of high rolling stuff like Aurora, but I mean the big thing is it gives you much better Misfortune odds. Put the Morgana onto the Hex here so that we can get another unit in here for memory bank casting. This does work on minions, so you want to farm it here. And you can see we start to slow roll a bit on 7 because, I mean, we do want to find at least 2 Brom 2 before we look to push level here, and we have so much gold that I think it's very easy to, I don't know, we could even have gone straight 8 this game, honestly, the more that I think about it. But we do roll a bit on 7 here. We find the Elise 2. And now we can actually duplicate the Elise. So we can do this here. We can play this board for now, which is 3 Bruiser. I think this is not my strongest board here. I mean, it's fine enough. Like you could cut this guy, but it's not amazing. But yeah, I think this board's gonna be good enough to push level here. Itemization wise here, what do you slam in this spot? I actually really like this idea of making a JG slam because we already have 3 items for Elise because we're having the Zanya's come out, but we know that we're gonna get an Aurora later. We want to itemize her, so might as well just make that JG for the Aurora down the line. I mean, Misfortune is so good in this comp that honestly, if you told me that we were supposed to make like IE and then go like Crown Guard or something, I wouldn't think it's that crazy, but yeah, it's something to consider. But you can see, look at both of these Elises. Also, look at how much the Elise is healing. 8k damage. She's healing a lot. And the baby Elise, actually, the duplicate does a good, like reasonable amount of damage as well. 2300 damage. And she's also MR shredding so many units on their board. So yeah, really cool. Last augment here. I mean, it's not malicious. Sated Spellweaver is a really nice option here with the Hextech Gunblade. It's going to make sure that our Elise that's stuck on the 3rd row is going to live longer. It's always good with Gunblade because now any excess healing you're turning into a shield, you're spreading around. So Sated Spellweaver I think is a very solid option here. And this Elise unit, it also plays for that idea of playing for really long fights. And Braum also does like honestly reasonable damage here. So we're on a 100 streak here. So I think leveling makes a lot of sense. We roll a little bit, pick up a Braum, and honestly here we roll once and it's like, well, we can actually play 4 Bruiser on this board, fit the Rost in here over the Braum because no reason to have the Braum on the board. And honestly, this board is good enough to go 9 with. This isn't even the Braum 2 version of the board that I would say is like kind of the super ideal, is you actually hit, Braum 2 and you stabilize really hard on that. But this is kind of, ooh, flex TFT, baby. We are playing our strongest board here. We hit the 4 Bruiser. And I mean, look at this board. We're fighting an MF2, a Zeri board, and we just absolutely clean their clock. I mean, this Elise unit is just beyond broken. And look at this. This is 0 mana item Elise, but she's just sitting here casting, getting value out of her Archangels, getting value value out of our Gunblade. The JG is a fantastic last damage item hunter. And look, this guy is rerolling for Elise 3, but I mean, our main game plan is say, you know what, we'll just let this guy die, and as we push levels, you know, it'll be fine. We'll make it hard for them to hit Elise 3 because we're holding a few, but I mean, honestly, we're hard chilling. Rotate to another MF board, and this is where the game gets a little bit scary. And honestly, I think this game, okay, maybe it's illegal to say that this game is a low roll game, but there is one thing that is low roll about this game, and that we are actually pretty hard contested. There is a Misfortune player in this lobby, and so like there's 2 Misfortune players in this lobby, so we can't actually play for Misfortune very easily. I don't think this Misfortune line is that popular compared to, you know, other lines that exist in the meta right now. And so I do think like you're not actually going to run into this problem that much. People love like Vanguard Marksman. They love like Vexotech stuff. People, I don't think, value this Misfortune unit that high. If we get to a point in the meta where people value MF higher, then that's the only thing that could be kind of worrying. But honestly, this comp's very stable on Misfortune 1. So even if that, you know, does come to pass, it'll be okay here. This fight is actually really unfortunate because it was a very close fight. If that Sejuani doesn't get stun off here, we do win this fight. But I mean, you know, it's fine. It's not the end of the world to lose a fight here. I mean, we don't get our 15 streak. I'll go cry about it. But yeah, it's all right. This guy actually 300 Cypher cashed out into a Radiant IE. His spot is actually pretty scary. So somebody to watch out for with the 6 Slayer. Rotate into Doruwaza here in this game, who played Hunter Killer Missile and actually found the Urgot on 8. I mean, this guy's a high roller. I mean, we all know it. We've all seen this guy before, and so we do end up losing this fight as well, but it's fine. We've maintained so much HP from earlier in the game that, hey, we lose a couple of fights, no biggie. We can push level 9 soon and cap out our board, pick up Aurora, feel really good. We're also about to actually cash into the Aurora, which is fantastic. I mean, it's a guaranteed Aurora and a guaranteed Zanyas, so I don't think you can be upset about that whatsoever. And getting the Aurora, we've talked about this before, but if you guys haven't seen one of my videos where I talk about cloning facility plus Aurora, if you play 2 Auroras with cloning facility, they will pull 2 units in off your bench, which is just, I mean, it's beyond broken here. So now we can fit Aurora in here, just throw Braum on the board for now. Item-wise here, to figure out our last couple of items, a few things. One, because we are going to put Aurora onto this Hex, we do kind of need to give her the Zanyas because, you know, whatever unit you're third rowing, you want to make sure that they are living. So we're actually going to Zanyas the Aurora here. And also, I mean, if we get to the dream of Aurora 2 later with Zanyas, that's going to be disgusting. The Zanyas and the Gunblade, or not the Gunblade, but the Archangels kind of have to go together. They're kind of a package deal because, you know, the Zanya is going to keep that Archangel's unit living longer. So you kind of have to do this. And then JG is a kind of perfect last item for the Aurora. And so then last but not least, we kind of have to figure out what our final last couple of items are. GS is a pretty easy slam in this spot. The only slight scary thing is we don't have, I wonder actually if looking back on this hindsight, it was probably Morello. It was probably Morello on the Aurora because we have no heal cut or Amar Shred at this point. You do get, obviously, the Amar Shred from Elise. It's not bad to build Shred as well with her just because you're getting their armor, you're reducing their Amar. Like they don't scale in the way that you would want, which would be the percent and then the flat. I guess if they have 100 armor, or if they have 100 MR and you're getting, 30% shred and then you're reducing it by like 10 flat, ideally you would want 30% shred, they go down to 70 and then 10% flat on top of that. I believe what happens is actually it's 10% flat, they go down to 90 and then you shred 30% of that. So then you shred 9. 9 is 10%, 27. You shred 27. So it's still fine to build a Marsh Shred in this comp, but it's, honestly, if you can get to late enough in the fight, you don't even need it because at least gets people to 0. So honestly, I think in hindsight, it was Morello, throw this onto Aurora, and then go Gunblade GS JG onto Elise. We end up going this Gunblade Death Cap, and then GS here onto Elise, which is also very solid, but it's just having no heal cuts like a little bit sketchy here. So honestly, if I could go back, I would actually change these items a little bit here. Look, I will say I'm determined for this game to not feel like the last game I VOD reviewed for myself where, I made a mistake and then didn't even see it on the VOD. So yeah, I will say this round we do actually, we just leave the Alistar on bench because we know it's getting thrown by the Aurora. It's a little bit troll, but now that we found the Misfortune, we can level here, start itemizing the Braum here and roll down for our strongest board here. Just trying to pick up something to kind of put in last. I have to throw in the God of the Net Garen because I'm playing for max cap this game, dynamoing an extra unit on this board board, or Divinicoring an extra unit on this board, I think should be pretty solid here. But I mean, even now you can kind of see the power of just this this Braum here, who's just, he's so tanky. This is a Braum 1, by the way, this far into the game, and he's shielding a ton, he's tanking a ton. For some reason, Elise is negative shielding. I'm not really sure what that is. But yeah, I mean, at this point, we're looking for units to throw in with Aurora. Best ones to throw in are Kobuko, and potentially like Zac, Urgot. Those are like the trifecta of really good units to throw in. Kobuko, fantastic because of the CC. So yeah. And we end up kind of selling the Crocs. Who really cares that much about the Crocs here? Try to dodge the Zed, and we do actually dodge the Zed pretty well on this board. But I mean, their board is still quite scary, and we are still pretty low capped here. Kind of, we need to actually not roll it super deep at this spot, because we have a lot of board left to cap here. We need the 2-star of the obviously of the Misfortune. We need the 2-star of the Morgana here. Morgana. The 2-star of the, I mean, the Braum is really nice as well. The 2-star of the Misfortune as well, M unit. And we do actually take Braum 2 here with Archangels here. Nice thing about this is we can throw this Archangels onto Elise and then move the GS over to MF. And we take Bruiser mod for the Braum, which is, like I talked about, really nice. Just, you know, some extra HP onto him. It's 2 Bruiser, but I mean, hey, that's like not really an item, but like it's some percent of an item, so not bad here. Pick up the Urgot as we roll down here, and we end up now we can throw the Urgot in, which is fantastic here. And yeah, we just chill on this. At this point, we're not going for Elise 3. I will say Elise 3 is a monster on this board, though. If I could choose one to hit, I would definitely pick Braum 3 over Elise 3, just because of, I mean, Elise 3 just cares about having a tanky enough front line so that she can get a lot of casts off, so yeah. But you can see here, we are on this board, Aurora 1, Elise 2, no 2-star frontline as far as like 4 costs go, 1-star MF, and we have just coasted to a top 3. We're clearing the lobby, and so frequently this happens where you have at least 2 Braum 2, you just make it to 9 for free, yeah, or you make it to enough time to actually dig for at least 3. It's just, this board is disgustingly stable on level 7 and level 8. It's just so good. So rotating this Vexotech board, this is the one that I would say that we are kind of scared of, but we can now throw in Zac here. Say this is, I would say, like the max cap version of the board is actually playing Zac so that you can get him the blobs and get him the full value of the blobs. If Aurora throws him in, he doesn't get the AP from the blobs. So best case scenario, like you want to be playing Zac on your board and then throwing in like a Kobuko and the other dude. But yeah, I actually start rolling, and then I realize that it's the hacked neutrals round where we get another round of neutrals, which is kind of hilarious. So we stop rolling a bit. We do still need that heal cut, so we finally pick a red buff. We'd love to throw it onto Aurora, but we can't really move any of her items, so we just do this, and then, you know, sell off. We actually hold on to these Braums for now just to make the roll down hard on herself. Pick a Kobuko we can play. We're getting so many blobs here. Aurora 2 is fantastic. So many blobs, actually. Continue to roll down here. Best case scenario, we hit Zac 2, but we do not hit it yet, so we pick up the MF here. The Declaw, I think, is pretty, yep, Declaw is really good versus this guy's board because he's fully AP. We are positioning to make sure that Sejuani can never ult onto our Elise. Even if she does, it's not even the end of the world because we have Archangels, we have all this scaling stuff. But yeah, I mean, the board is very strong at this point. This fight is actually so close, but Aurora clutches it out at the end and wins. And yeah, I mean, at this point, we have to cap by rolling for more bloblets, finding Zac 2. We do find the Zac 2 here, which is huge. So now we can move the items over to Zac. And then the really cool thing about this is that you get to put the hat onto the Misfortune here. So you get her to be like a bigger carry on this board. So that is just so sick here. This guy finally moves his Sedge over to the same side as our stuff here, which is a bit scary. It still doesn't really stun a lot of stuff, and Zac actually messes with Sejuani a lot. But then the second cast kind of wrecks us here, and we do lose this fight, which I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not trying to lose this game. Like, I need to win out this game. So we roll down, pick some more blobs up. I mean, I honestly like our positioning for the most part, but we can at least do this kind of split. Also, I think Dor was in the call for this game, actually, and he was like, what happens when you dupe the Zac? And the answer is don't dupe the Zac, because the duplicate of Zac does not get the value from the virus, so he doesn't get the extra HP or the AP. But I like this positioning a lot. This means if they leave their Sedge exactly where they were, we basically just get free positioning on them. The MF doesn't get CC'd, and the Elise doesn't get CC'd either. Last item off carousel here, we go Guardbreaker. This I think is also another slight mistake. Should be Shiv here off carousel to get the MR shred for Elise, which we do kind of need here. Pick up another Kobuko here, which is cool. Pick up some blobs on the way down. And I mean, this is the last fight, so I actually opt to just sell the Kobuko here, roll for blobs, because why not here? And yeah, I mean, I want to keep this positioning. If they keep this positioning, I'm very happy with it. So I kind of fake swap the MF over. They move their Sedge actually to the middle here, which is like a little bit annoying, but the upside is that it's not going to hit all of our other stuff. We do actually really the only downside to this fight positioning is that our MF doesn't get to chip the Vex, which is really important, but it doesn't matter. Our board's too good, and it's an easy win out for this Elise board. So wanted to share this tech with you guys. This is, like I said, I played this comp 4 games in a row. I was pretty lost in this patch. I mean, if you look at my LP graph, you can kind of see like it's been not looking that great here, but literally like I think this is where I didn't know. Actually, I think I had this placement, and then I decided to just start playing Elise every game, and it's been on the up and up. So I might continue just playing this Elise comp every game. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, check out my Twitch and Metafy, all my links down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching as always.